Hi guys, hello everyone. This is Punya here. I am welcoming you to my YouTube channel that is PM Biology. So today we are going to read the next chapter that is biotechnology principles and processes. So let's go ahead for it. So let's go for it. So what is biotechnology, right? So it's comprised of two words, bio and technology. We know that bio means living, right? So use of living organisms in context to technology or with the help of technology. This this is a very big organization, that is European Federation of Biotechnology. This is European Federation of biotechnology. This body defined biotechnology as integration of technology with natural sciences. Okay, so according to this European Federation of Biotechnology, they defined it as a system of integration of technology with natural sciences, giving rise to some meaningful or useful product. Meaningful or useful product or processes. Biotechnology was the term biotechnology was given by Carl Ere in the year 1919. So, very important to know, biotechnology term was coined or given by Carl Ere in the year 1919. Okay, so you have to remember this, and the full form of EFB. It's European Federation of Biotechnology. So now we can define biotechnology according to the branches of sciences, right? So according to various branches of biology, biotechnology can be defined as the branch that deals with plants, animals, or microorganisms, or their enzymes to produce useful products and processes which are beneficial for humans. So we can mention the proper definition of biotechnology as the branch that deals with plants, animals, or microorganisms or their enzymes to produce useful products and processes beneficial for humans. So now we can go for biotechnological principles. So there are two core principles that aid for biotechnology. First one is genetic engineering. Second is sterilization methods. So let's know how to define genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is chemical modification of chemical nature of RNA or DNA right, chemical modification of chemical nature of RNA or DNA and their introduction into and their introduction into host organism to change phenotypic characters of that particular host, to change their phenotypic nature of host. So genetic engineering is the chemical modification of chemical nature of RNA or DNA and their introduction into host organism, thereby changing the phenotypic nature of the host. Next is our sterilization methods. Sterilization methods are for manipulation and growth. These methods are used for manipulation and growth of only desired characters by different methods. Desired, okay, only desired characters, microbes, that would be helpful for humans. Okay, so these are the two core principles which act for biotechnology principles. These are the basic questions which comes for this. Define genetic engineering. What are sterilization methods used for? So sterilization methods are used to maintain, manipulate and growth of desired characters, that is it can be microbes, your enzymes or anything that would be helpful or beneficial for humans. So next we can go for, first we need to know what are the basic steps of genetic engineering. So let's jot the points first. Basic steps for genetic engineering. So first thing or the first step would be isolation of desirable gene. So that would be accounting for the first step of genetic engineering. So first step is, first we have to identify, that is identification of desirable gene. Second step is introduction of the DNA into host to form our DNA, that is recombinant DNA. Third point, or the third step is maintenance of DNA host and gene cloning. Fourth is gene transfer. So the first rDNA was found out by Cohen and Boer in the year 1972. Cohen and Boer were the first to isolate or identify the first rDNA. They first worked on a bacterium, Escherichia coli. So they got it from this particular bacterium. So see, so we have entered the biotechnology chapter and we have completed the introductory part of it. Before we go into the topic, more deep into the topic, let's know how interesting is this biotechnology chapter. You all must be knowing about insulin. It's a protein. It is secreted by beta cells of pancreas, by, that is, islets of Langerhans. It is produced by beta cells. So if beta cells is not be able to produce insulin in our body, then we use the help of this biotechnology and a process by which we can genetically engineer it and then we can use it for human welfare. And you will glad to know that we are using only a bacterium, that is Escherichia coli, for synthesis of this insulin. Another important concept about biotechnology in human welfare is the resistance, or we can say the ampicillin, then your penicillin. All these are antibiotic resistant. You know, these are antibiotics, and these genes are incorporated in certain bacteria and then they are being used for curing too many diseases in humans. TI plasmid is also there. It's affecting in plants, and we have also incorporated biotechnology for use in this methods also. How? We will be talking about all those parts in the next chapter, that is applications. So aren't you interested to know about how genetically insulin is engineered and from the E. coli, and it is beneficial and it is being used for human beings? You must be interesting. It is interesting also. So let's go for the next part of the topic, and that is tools of recombinant technologies. Okay. So let's go for tools for rDNA technology. Tools. First and most important tool is restriction enzymes, or we can say only enzymes also. This is first tool which is used for rDNA technology. Under enzymes, we can talk about lysing enzymes, restriction enzymes, ligating enzymes, etc. This is tool number 1. Tool number 2 is vectors. We are going to use different types of vectors that would be helping for this rDNA technology. So vectors can be many. In this chapter we are going to talk about vectors. Those are one PBR322 vector, then PUC vector. These two are in your courses, so we'll go for these two. So vector, we'll be talking in details about vectors in next part. Third, we need to know, or we need to have a host cell, because without this host cell we cannot go for this process. Next, we can go for certain polymerase enzymes. Okay, so these are the 4 important tools which we can use for going for the process, that is rDNA technology. See, in details about the tools of rDNA technology we will be taking up in the next part. Let's go for some more information which is required for you as of now. So we'll just mention it like this. See, we know that DNA produces RNA, especially mRNA we require, and this mRNA will be giving rise to a protein or enzyme which we can use for our beneficial profits or beneficial uses. Next important thing which we need to know is, like, this protein or enzyme would be the final product which we are going to use after this processes. Okay, like we are wanting insulin. end product would be genetically engineered insulin. This would be our end product that would be beneficial for humans. Okay. One more simple, I'll be giving you a just in a brief idea, or just we'll go for a summary of this whole rDNA technology. I'll just tell you as of now. So let's go for the summary of rDNA technology process. So let's take Escherichia coli. Okay. So somewhat it would be like this structure. It is having its own DNA. Suppose a bacteriophage is infecting this bacteria now. So this is a bacteriophage which is going to infect it. This is the DNA, and this black colored is the DNA of the bacterium E. coli. Now this would be injecting this DNA into the host cell. So here E. coli is our host cell. Okay. An interesting concept with this E. coli is there, which is known as complement system. Two complement system, in which one part of it would be consisting of a restriction enzyme and the other would be containing a methyl group. We will be talking in details about restriction enzymes in the next class, but as if now you know, this restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes can cut DNA at specific portions. So specific cuts at DNA can be there. Suppose here ANT is there, here also ANT is there, here also ANT is there with the foreign DNA. Okay, so this restriction enzyme can make a cut in between A and T, but this E. coli is having this two complement system. So this two complement system will be acting as a barrier for this, because restriction enzyme can have, or they have the only knowledge that they would be cutting DNA at the specific ends. This is the host, this is the foreign molecule. So how this restriction enzyme will know which one is the foreign molecule and which one is the host cell DNA? It cannot know. So for that, this two complement system is there with this E. coli bacterium. So what will happen here? The first methyl group will go, and this methyl group will be attached to either this or to either this part. When this will be tying with this complement system, this is network of enzymes and a certain molecule, this will be giving a signal to the cell that restriction endonucleases where methyl is there, that is the host DNA. So this will go and make a cut at this, that is the foreign DNA would be having a specific cut between this. After that, it will not be able to infect the host cell. This mechanism in details we will be talking about in this particular chapter. So I hope you would be enjoying this concept of two complement system of E. coli, where it is acting as how it is recognizing the host DNA and the foreign molecule for it, right? So let's go for it, and that's all for today's class. I hope you would be liking the class and waiting for my videos more. This was the part 1 of it. Let's go for the next part, as tools of DNA. First we will be talking about restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes, which we can say. We'll be going for that in details. Thank you. Have a nice day. Till that, watch my videos, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.